Hey everybody, welcome to Avid Travel Tech. I'm Will. I recently read a story about a woman who was on Carnival cruises, and as she was looking throughout the main dining room hall, she realized that most people were sitting looking at their phones, and she was really upset about this. So she took a picture and then submitted it and said, "I think Carnival Cruise Lines should ban cell phones in the main dining room hall." I personally don't foresee that happening anytime soon. And Carnival actually did come out and say they will not be banning cell phone use in the main dining hall. I think post-COVID, we live too much in a world where people are used to scanning menus with the QR codes. It gives too many advantages to the cruise line to update things and change things on the fly if they need to. And it's just a tool that we are used to having with us all the time. Now, I agree with her sentiment. I think that we should be taking time to really connect with those that we're traveling with, hopefully some loved ones or good friends, and really talk about our experiences of the day and not be head down in a phone like we tend to easily do when we're at home. That made me think a little bit about some of the things that actually are banned on cruise ships, and I wanted to share a few of them with you today to make sure that you're aware and ensure that your future travels go well and hopefully avoid any hiccups that you might have at security. Stick with me. A little later in the video, I'm going to share with you some of the tech that I used to always bring with me on my travels, but now I'm going to have to leave at home for future cruises. One thing that people commonly do is they take cruises for big life events such as holidays or maybe a big birthday party. This could really impact your plans if you're bringing some toys or presents to have some kids unwrap while on the cruise ship. Toy and replica weapons are no longer allowed, and this includes Nerf guns and swords like lightsabers that are very popular children's gifts. I would hate for you to go through security only to have them pulled away and out of your luggage as they get scanned. So make sure that any gifts or presents like that you open up at home before the trip or after the trip. Carnival Cruise Line recently communicated that they are banning bottled coffee creamer. I know that for a lot of people, you really like the certain flavor in your coffee, and you want to bring a little bit of that taste of home with you. I totally understand that. Carnival Cruise Lines did confirm that bottled coffee creamer is no longer allowed, but you still can bring the little packets that you might find at a diner. So if you do have a favorite creamer, I'd suggest that you get a hold of some of those small packets to bring with you. Aerosol cans like Lysol, Downy Wrinkle Release, and large hairspray bottles are also banned, and that might surprise some of you. You can still bring those manual pump action travel size hairspray bottles, so I would make sure that you grab something like that to bring along your preferred hair product. Cruise lines have banned drugs, and it's pretty obvious that you can't bring those. However, one thing that has risen in popularity are CBD gummies, and now several cruise lines have prohibited those as well. Make sure that you check the links in the description. That'll include what is currently banned based on the cruise lines to make sure you don't run into any issues. Switching over to tech, Carnival has made a big change in banning Bluetooth speakers. This also includes white noise machines and other audio equipment. Ironically, some stores on the ship will still sell Bluetooth speakers. However, if you purchase them, they will hold on to them until you debark, and you can get them after your cruise. This is a big deal for a lot of people. I know personally, I like listening to audiobooks and podcasts and different things like that, and I don't always love having headphones in my ears. So I've always brought a small little Bluetooth speaker like this that I leverage when I'm in my room. I understand that there are several Bluetooth speakers that are large, and people have been taking them out to pool decks, playing their own music, or they might be interrupting other cruisers at night by playing music really loudly in their room. I still would like to see a provision where smaller devices can be allowed. One of the things that I'll call out now is I've been on travels where my neighbor next door is watching TV really loud late at night. If you're in a public place and you want to listen to your own music, you'll have to use headphones going forward on Carnival Cruise Lines. Another thing to call out is that recently Carnival confiscated a YouTuber's personal Starlink dish that they had brought onto the cruise. They actually used the Starlink device to upload a YouTube video, and they confiscated it while he was on his cruise. Clearly, cruise lines want you to buy their internet package and pay for the services that they provide while also not creating potential issues and congestion with other Wi-Fi signals. Now I want to call out a few unofficial bans that several people are sharing about on cruise blogs. The first one that I want to share is about water shoes. Now, water shoes in general are amazing. They can really make your life more comfortable by taking them out on excursions, especially if you're going to a beach or something like that. However, several individuals have recently shared that Royal Caribbean lifeguards have mentioned that water shoes can cause damage to pool lining, so they're no longer allowed in the pools on the deck. I would make sure to bring sandals to protect your feet when you're on the upper decks near the pools, because the sun can make the pool deck very, very hot. Now, for one of the items that I used to always travel with, it's one of these, a travel router. This unfortunately also impacts Royal Caribbean fans. Unofficially, they are banning devices like these. It is probably to stop users from signing up for a single internet plan and then sharing it with many of their devices while they're in their room on the ship. One of the things that I'm concerned about with this is that I know it's very popular for some long-term travelers to bring these routers with them to hotels and Airbnbs as a quick way to set up their own personal network and not have to constantly manage unique Wi-Fi passcodes across multiple devices that they're traveling with. I'm curious, if you're a long-term traveler or recently took one of these recently banned devices on a cruise, was it confiscated at your luggage screening? Another recently banned group of devices are multi-port charging devices that include plugs that you can plug into. Now, surge protectors have been banned on cruises for quite a while. Again, this is something that is pretty commonly known. It can cause issues with the electrical system on the ships. So surge protectors have always been banned, but now any device that you can actually plug another device into is also banned. They have clarified that multi-device chargers that only include USB connections on them, such as this U-Green one, are still allowed to be used and won't be confiscated. I've made sure to include links in the description below for each of the cruise line's official policies and for some of the products that we discussed. Anchor has actually started to make a new device that you might find helpful, where it's a single USB-C connection that can charge two devices at the same time. Now keep in mind, this will split the power between the devices, so you won't be able to charge devices quite as quickly. If you're using a device that you're charging overnight, that might be a good solution to maximize the number of ports you have available to you in the stateroom. I just want to thank you again for being here. If you found these tips helpful, please let me know in the comments, and I would appreciate it if you could like the video. Subscribe to make sure you don't miss out on future travel and tech-related news. I've also left a link to my Patreon below if you'd like to support the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.